There's a painful illusion many men live in. They think, if she needs me, she'll stay. If you solve her problems, calm her storms, lift her out of chaos, you believe that earns your place in her heart. It feels noble. It feels masculine. But listen carefully. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. Need is about survival. Want is about desire. She might cling to you when life is falling apart. She might cry on your shoulder, lean on you financially or emotionally, call you every time her world collapses. And in those moments, you feel important. You feel chosen. But as soon as she stabilizes, as soon as her life levels out, something shifts. Her messages slow down, her eyes wander, her presence fades. You stand there asking yourself, after everything I did, how could she walk away like that? Because she didn't stay out of desire. She stayed out of need, and need disappears when the crisis ends. Let that sink in. When someone needs you, you are useful. When someone wants you, you are the prize. Stoicism teaches you to seek clarity, not comfort. Clarity forces you to admit this. Being her emotional crutch is not the same as being her emotional magnet. The man who is addicted to being needed will always chase broken people, chaotic situations, women who are falling apart, because that's where he feels strong. But that is not strength, that is a trap. You are not meant to live as someone's tool. You are meant to live as a standard, and that's where the deeper truth hits. You can give her the world, and she might still not care. You can be there day and night, pay for everything, fix every problem, listen to every complaint, and still be treated like an option. Why? Because she doesn't fall in love with your effort. She falls in love with your impact. Most men never learn this. They are trained to believe that more effort equals more appreciation. At work, that's often true. In school, that's often true. In business, you grind harder, you move forward. But with women, that same logic can destroy you. You start doing everything for her. You text first, every day. You respond in seconds. You offer rides. You buy gifts. You over-explain yourself. You show her that you're serious. From your side, it feels like love. From her side, it feels like pressure. It feels off, too much, too soon. And quietly, she asks herself, why is he trying this hard? Does he not have anything else going on? Why does he seem like he needs me more than I need him? Effort without impact becomes noise. Effort without self-respect becomes desperation. Desire is not logical. She doesn't sit there thinking, he texts me every morning and bought me dinner twice, so I should like him now. She wants a feeling, a pull she can't fully explain. That pull doesn't come from you doing more. It comes from who you are when you do less. Presence, calm, confidence, unpredictability. A man who has a life, a man who has a rhythm, a man who is engaged but not enslaved. Now hear this. If your sense of worth rises and falls with her reactions, her replies, her compliments, you are not loving her, you are begging from her. Validation makes you weak in her eyes when you depend on it. Everyone likes to be appreciated, but when you need her to tell you that you're worthy, that you matter, that you're enough, something shifts in the dynamic. She stops looking up to you. She starts looking down. The man who fishes for compliments. The man who needs to hear, we're okay, right? The man who asks her, are you mad? Every time she goes quiet. That man bleeds masculine energy. He's not leading, he's following. And following energy kills attraction. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. They knew you cannot build a grounded life on the unstable opinions of others. One day she thinks you're perfect. The next day she's cold and distant. If your identity swings with her mood, where is your center? A Stoic man notices the urge to chase validation and does not obey it. She pulls back a little. His heart starts to race. His mind says, explain yourself, fix it, prove your worth. But instead of reacting, He asks himself a different question. What would the man I want to become do right now? Not the scared boy, not the people pleaser. The man, he responds from principle, not panic, from direction, not fear. And that energy, she can feel. Now, I want you to do something for yourself, not for me. For you, I want you to drop an affirmation in the comments, right now. I am already enough without her approval. Write it, so your own eyes see it. Then I want you to like this video as a way of telling yourself, I am committed to this work. And if you're truly serious about building this mindset long-term, I want you to subscribe so you keep surrounding your mind with this message instead of the noise that weakens you. Now let's go deeper. Many of you live as the nice guy. You're kind. You're respectful. You're available. You listen to her problems. You always say yes. On paper, that sounds ideal. In reality, the nice guy is rarely chosen. He's kept. He becomes the emotional spare tire. The man she calls when things go wrong with the guy she's actually attracted to. Such a good guy, she says, while texting someone else with a different energy. Safety and attraction are not the same. You can be the one who makes her feel comfortable and never be the one who makes her feel alive. Because niceness without edge has no gravity. If you never say no, if you never challenge her, if you never pull back, if you never draw a line, you don't feel like a grounded man. You feel like a soft cushion, and nobody burns with desire for a cushion. What she feels for the nice guy is control. She knows exactly how he'll react. She knows he'll be there no matter what. She knows his emotions are in her hands. Control is the death of mystery, and without mystery, there is no tension. Without tension, no fire. This is why being there is not enough. This is why all your effort still leaves you invisible. Because if she doesn't have to earn you, she will not value you. Read that again in your mind. When you give your attention, your time, your loyalty, your presence for free, without any standard, she registers it as always available. You become the default setting in her life, and no one treasures what is default. You don't need to play childish games or act cold to fix this. You need standards. Standards for how you allow yourself to be treated. Standards for the kind of energy you accept. Standards for who gets full access to you. A high-value man is not cruel. He is clear. He does not punish women. He does not create fake obstacles. He simply lives in a way that says, my time is not cheap. My attention is not free. My commitment is not given to chaos. When a woman has to show up with honesty, effort, and consistency to stay close to you, she feels the cost. And what cost her something she respects. She starts to think about how she speaks to you, how she shows up, what she brings, because she understands your presence is not guaranteed. That is when you shift from being there to being valued. Attraction deepens when she feels that your energy is a reward, not a consolation prize. Women don't fall in love with the man who gives the most. They fall in love with the man who makes them feel the most. She doesn't want endless comfort. She wants emotional aliveness. When she feels like she has all the emotional power, all the certainty, all the control, she gets bored. She starts to move like a queen with a servant, not a partner. She does not want to be worshipped. She wants to be met by a man who can challenge her, not by yelling, not by drama, but by standing firm. A man who can say, I hear you, but I don't agree, and not crumble when she gets emotional. A man who can say no when she expects yes, not to hurt her, but to honor his own standards. A man who can hold space for her storms without trying to fix everything just to feel safe again. Challenge is presence with a spine. When you challenge her mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you awaken something deeper. Her respect, her desire to rise, her attraction to your strength. She realizes she is not with a fan, she is with a force. And that is what she cannot walk away from easily. I want you to lock this into your identity. Right now, I want you to write in the comments, "My presence is the prize." This is not arrogance. This is alignment. You are not begging to be picked. You are a man who sets the bar and lets the world respond. Now look at another hidden piece. Mystery. You've been told that if you are always there, always consistent, always reassuring, she will feel secure and love you more. Consistency matters. But when consistency has no edge, it turns into monotony. Good morning texts, every single day, checking in all the time, constant compliments, explaining how you feel over and over. Never any distance, never any suspense. She knows what you will say before you say it. She knows how you will react before she acts. She knows you too well, and not in the way that deepens attraction. Desire needs space. Desire needs contrast. Desire feeds off a small, healthy dose of, "I don't fully have him yet." Not insecurity, not chaos, but a subtle tension. The man who doesn't overshare every thought, who doesn't rush to reply to every message out of fear, who sometimes takes his time because he actually has a life. That man leaves room for curiosity. She thinks about what you're doing. She replays your last conversation. She wonders how you see her. That curiosity is emotional investment. Mystery is not manipulation. It is the natural result of having a full life that does not orbit one person. You are not hiding. You are simply not putting every part of yourself on display for free. The Stoic man understands this intuitively. He speaks less, observes more, acts with intention. He does not explain himself to win approval. He lives in a way that says, "Waste no time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That is mystery, not a game, a depth. But mystery alone is not enough. You must also master your reactions. Here is a truth almost no one taught you. The less you react, the more she feels. Most men believe they must respond instantly to every shift in her mood, answer immediately, reassure constantly, fix the tension as fast as possible. They think this is love. Often, it is fear. Fear of losing her, fear of her being upset, fear of silence. So they chase every argument. They send paragraph-long texts. They over-explain, over-apologize, overshare. And in doing so, they show her something. My center moves when you push it. Women will test you, not because they are evil, but because they want to feel your strength. On some level, she is asking, can I shake this man? Can I pull him off center? If every time she pouts, you panic. If every time she withdraws, you beg. If every time she gets distant, you explode or melt. You stop being the rock. You become another wave. Restraint is different. Restraint is calm. You see the drama. You feel the sting. You notice the urge to react. And you choose stillness. You look her in the eyes and say, I hear you. Take your time. No chasing, no collapsing, no performance. That calm, that non-reaction creates space. And in that space, she feels more than any frantic attempt to fix the moment could ever make her feel. She reflects. She wonders. She questions herself. Your stillness becomes gravity. The Stoics called it inner tranquility. Emotion is moving around you, but it does not own you. You don't waste energy on petty arguments, passive-aggressive tests, bait designed to pull you off your frame. You keep your power instead of handing it away. And that is where emotional detachment enters, your quiet superpower. Detachment is not coldness. It is not pretending you don't care. It is not shutting your heart down. Real emotional detachment is this. I feel everything, but nothing controls me. You can want her deeply. You can love her truly. You can be hurt, disappointed, even heartbroken, and still not abandon yourself. The man who is emotionally detached in the right way can sit with discomfort without running. He can feel the urge to chase and stay still instead. He can hear, we need to talk, and breathe, not break. He can watch someone pull away and say, I will not beg for what does not want to stay. That man is rare. That man is dangerous in the best way, because now she cannot move you with silence. She cannot control you with withdrawal. She cannot push your buttons because you took them off the table. You respond from choice, not panic, from values, not fear. That is when her respect for you multiplies. That is when her attraction deepens. I want you to mark this decision right now. I want you to declare in the comments, "My peace is my power." When you write that, you're not impressing anyone. You are reminding yourself who comes first, not her mood, not her approval, your inner state. Listen, everything we've spoken about, being wanted, not needed, effort with impact, not desperation, being valued, not used, mystery, challenge, restraint, detachment, all of it points back to one core truth. This is not ultimately about women, it is about you. The man you become when no one is clapping, the man you are when she pulls away, the man you remain when life doesn't give you what you want. That is where real masculinity is forged. You are not here to chase love, like a child chasing approval. You are here to build yourself into a man who stands tall, whether she stays or leaves. A man whose value does not rise and fall with one person's attention. A man whose standards remain even when his heart hurts. A man whose peace is too important to hand over to someone who doesn't even know their own mind today. Women will come. Women will go. The question is not, how do I make her stay? The question is, who am I, no matter who comes or goes? When you answer that with strength, with clarity, with calm, you stop being the man waiting to be chosen. You become the man who cannot be ignored. Life will not reward you for being a harmless ornament. It will reward you for being a calm, disciplined, unshakable man. You will face rejection. You will be ignored, misunderstood, and taken for granted. Women will lose interest. Friends will disappoint you. In those moments, you either collapse into self-pity or you stand like a warrior. This is where Stoicism becomes your armor. You control how others act. You control how you respond. You control your thoughts, your choices, your standards. That is where your power lives. Begin with your inner foundation. If your mind is weak, every little setback destroys you, so build mental toughness. When things go wrong, when someone ghosts you, when a plan fails, notice your first reaction. Do you spiral into, "What's wrong with me?" Or do you ask, "What is this here to teach me?" Choose the second. See every disappointment as training, every no as resistance that makes you stronger. Treat obstacles like weights in the gym. You do not complain about the weight. You use the weight to build muscle. Reflect on your struggles. Write about what happened, how you felt, and what you can improve next time. Calmly search for lessons instead of replaying the pain. Refuse to exaggerate the problem in your mind. Most disasters are not truly disasters. They are just inconvenient lessons. And remember your body. A tired, weak body feeds a tired, weak mind. Train, sleep properly. Eat like a man who respects himself. A strong body supports a steady, resilient mind. From this foundation of toughness, you must learn something most nice guys never master. You must stop living on borrowed approval. If your confidence depends on whether a girl texts back, you are not confident. You are addicted, quiet. Unshakable confidence comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. Ask yourself, what do you value? What type of man are you trying to become? What actions make you proud of yourself? Even if nobody claps, spend time with these questions. Base your worth not on compliments, likes, or attention, but on your own judgment of your effort and integrity. Feedback is useful, but your final approval must come from you. Understand something simple and sobering. You cannot please everyone. Not every woman will like you. Not every person will respect you. That is not a problem to fix. That is reality to accept. As long as you act with honesty, courage, and fairness, you can walk with your head high, no matter who disapproves. Confidence attracts confidence. People feel it when you are rooted in yourself, not begging for their validation. From that inner strength flows another crucial shift. You must stop sacrificing yourself in the name of being nice. Your needs, your time, your values are not less important than anyone else's. Being kind does not mean being endlessly available. Being good does not mean being easy to use. If you always say yes to everyone, you quietly say no to yourself. Notice how often you agree to things you secretly resent. The favor you did not want to do. The late night call you tolerated when you needed rest. The endless emotional support you offer to a girl who treats you like a therapist, not a man. Pay attention to that tight feeling in your chest. That small inner voice that says, "I don't want this," while your mouth is already saying, "Sure, no problem." That voice is your self-respect. Stop betraying it. Learn to say no, calmly, clearly, without over-explaining. You are not rude for protecting your boundaries. You are simply refusing to abandon yourself. Start small if you must. Decline an invitation you do not care about. Turn down a favor that drains you. Limit conversations that go nowhere and leave you empty. Notice how you feel afterwards. A little lighter, a little more in control. That is your spirit remembering what it feels like to stand up straight. Do not be surprised when some people get angry when you finally grow a backbone. They were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. Their discomfort is not your problem. Kindness without limits becomes self-betrayal. You are allowed to draw the line. And when the line has been crossed, you must not be a pushover. If someone disrespects you, uses you, or constantly ignores your needs, do not smile and let it slide every time. Speak up calmly, firmly. Say what is acceptable to you and what is not. You can be compassionate and still command respect. You can be gentle and still refuse to be walked on. Practice asserting yourself in daily life. Defend your opinions without becoming aggressive. Decline demands that do not work for you. Push back when someone treats you unfairly. Over time, you will realize something powerful. You do not crumble when people are disappointed in you. The world does not end when you refuse. Your life actually becomes cleaner, lighter, more honest. The strongest man is not the one who never upsets anyone. The strongest man is the one who can stay gracious while refusing to be trampled. As you harden your boundaries, do not forget strategy. Life is not only about strength, it is about wisdom. You must learn to be deliberate in your interactions. Many nice guys give endlessly while expecting nothing. They hope that pure kindness will be repaid, especially in dating. They listen for hours, give rides, buy gifts, fix problems, all in the hope that one day she will finally see their value. Often, she does not. Not because you are worthless, but because humans respond to balance, not desperation. Observe your relationships. Is there reciprocity? Or is it one-sided? When you need help, are they there, or only when it suits them? Do they appreciate your effort, or do they treat your time like it is cheap? It is not cold to notice these things. It is wise. You are free to give, but give most to those who also give. Do not keep pouring into people who only take. Adjust your effort to match what you receive. This is not being transactional. This is protecting your spirit. Healthy connection is win-win. Unhealthy connection is win-lose, and too often you are the one losing. Now, to avoid ending up in these draining situations again and again, you must sharpen your perception. Train yourself to read people early. When you meet someone new, pay attention not just to their words, but to their patterns. Are they genuinely curious about you, or do they only talk about themselves? Do they ever say thank you, or do they treat your favors as something they are entitled to? When you say no to something, do they respect it, or do they guilt you and push harder? Watch how they treat others, especially those who cannot give them anything. A person who is charming with you but cruel with others shows you their real nature. Believe what you see. Study body language. The A fake smile that disappears quickly, the arms crossed when you bring up your needs, the eyes that dart away when they lie. These signals matter. Do not ignore red flags just because you want the connection to work. Hope is not a strategy. A stoic man sees clearly, without exaggerating the good or the bad. He balances insight with compassion, but he does not blind himself. At the same time, do not become bitter. Not everyone is out to exploit you. Use your perception to give wisely, not to shut your heart. Understand also that people are largely driven by self-interest. This is neither good nor evil. It is simply human nature. If you want to influence others, including in your career or relationships, speak to this reality. Instead of hoping others will help you purely out of gratitude, show them how helping you also serves their goals. Explain how supporting your idea benefits the team. Show a friend how joining you in a new habit will also improve their life. When you ask for cooperation, make the outcome win. In dating, this means you do not just try to impress a woman with how nice you are. You become a man whose life she genuinely wants to be part of. You offer experiences, stability, growth, and energy that enhance her world, not just compliments and favors. However, be cautious of those driven only by selfish gain. If someone never shows generosity, if they only move when there is clear benefit for them, they are not a reliable companion. Choose your inner circle with care to navigate such people, and the harsher parts of life, you will occasionally need more than kindness. You will need firmness, sometimes subtle cunning. Not everyone listens to reason. Not everyone respects gentleness. Some will try to manipulate you with guilt, fake helplessness, or veiled threats. Learn to notice these tactics. When someone constantly plays the victim to control you, recognize it. When they praise you just before asking for something heavy, see the pattern. When they hint that bad things will happen if you do not comply, stand your ground. Respond calmly, without anger but with unwavering clarity. You are allowed to say, "That does not work for me," and leave it there. You are allowed to walk away from power games. And if direct confrontation does not work, think strategically. Adjust your position so their leverage over you disappears. Protect your time, your resources, and your emotional energy. This is not about becoming ruthless. It is about defending yourself without losing your composure. Courage, creativity, and poise. These are the marks of a mature man. Alongside all this, you must not stay passive about your life. Many nice guys quietly wait for things to improve, for the right woman to appear, for respect to be handed to them, for life to finally reward their patience. That is not how it works. You must take calculated risks. Become clear about what you truly want, the kind of relationships you desire, the level of health you expect from yourself, the career you are building, the character you are refining. Define them. Then look honestly at the risks required. Approaching a woman in public, asking for a promotion, starting a new project, setting a standard that may cause some people to leave. Do your homework. Weigh pros and cons. Seek guidance from those wiser than you. Then move. Start with small risks if you must. Each bold action trains your nervous system to handle more. When things do not go as planned, do not dramatize. A failed attempt is not a final judgment on your worth. It is a piece of data. Adjust. Try again. Life favors the man who moves with courage and preparation, not the man who waits for perfect safety. For this reason, you must also cultivate real skills and talents. Being nice is not a substitute for being valuable. Ask yourself, what can you actually do? What abilities do you have that improve the lives of others? What passions could you develop into strong competencies? Make a list of your strengths and interests. Maybe you communicate well. Maybe you are good with numbers, with your hands, with planning, with leading, with creating. Invest in these. Study, take courses, read, practice deliberately. Seek mentors who can correct you and push you. Try new hobbies that challenge you and give you a sense of achievement. This steady growth changes how you see yourself. You stop feeling like a boy, begging for approval, and start feeling like a man who brings something to the table. In relationships, this matters. A woman respects the man who contributes wisdom, stability, protection, and skill, not just blind agreement. Your talents become part of the value you offer the world. Do not waste energy envying other men for their gifts. You have your own path. Focus on what you can build with what you have. As your competence grows and your standards rise, there is one thing you must never lose: your integrity. Stoicism is not about becoming cold or ruthless. It is not about building walls so high that nobody can reach you. It is about living by principles, even when it costs you. Do not let past pain turn you into someone bitter and cynical. Do not let betrayal make you abandon your desire to do good. Be more discerning, yes, but let your discernment be guided by wisdom, not by hatred. Keep your heart open, but no wrong guard. Care for others, and also care for yourself. When conflict comes, choose the high road. You do not need to sink to the level of those who try to harm you. Refuse to retaliate out of blind anger. Refuse to play petty games. Stand firm, speak truth, hold your boundaries, and then walk away with dignity. Your moral compass is not a weakness, it is your North Star. Success that costs you your character is not success. Winning while keeping your soul intact, that is true victory. Stay awake within your own life. Watch your thoughts, watch your reactions, watch the kind of people and situations you keep choosing. When you notice a pattern that hurts you, do not excuse it. Adjust your behavior. Learn. This is how you become wiser year after year. In time, you will notice a quiet transformation. You are no longer the man who bends over backward for a little attention. You are no longer the man who fears every no or every cold shoulder. You become calm. You become selective. You become generous, but with boundaries. You become soft-hearted, but steel-spined. You walk through life like a warrior of peace, unmoved by petty drama, focused on growth, grounded in virtue, attractive, not because you chase, but because you stand. This is the Stoic way in modern life. To face rejection without losing self-respect, to care without collapsing, to love without abandoning yourself, to pursue greatness without losing your humanity. Hold this path, return to it each day, and step by step, you will become the man you were meant to be. Picture a man who walks through life like a mountain. He does not rush to explain himself. He does not bend to every gust of opinion. He does not chase. He does not beg. He knows what he stands for. He lives by a code only he can see. If people come, they are welcome. If they leave, he does not crumble. This is sovereignty. This is the state your soul is starving for. A sovereign man is not a satellite orbiting around the moods of others. He is a sun with his own gravity. He is warm. He is stable. He does not ask, will they like this? He asks, is this true for me? And here is the paradox that haunts you. The man who needs no one becomes the man everyone wants. In dating, in friendship, in business, the world leans toward the man who can stand alone, because you cannot manipulate a man who is content in his own company. Now look at your life with honest eyes. When a woman pulls away, do you panic? When a boss frowns, do you lose sleep? Do you spend your days scanning faces for approval like a beggar, watching for coins? You call this caring. You call this being considerate. In truth, it is slavery. Walk through the crowded streets of any big city, and you will see this slavery written in men's bodies. Shoulders bent forward, eyes lowered, a faint, apologetic smile glued to the face. You will see chains in their gaze. It is the look of a man who has spent his entire life trying to take up as little space as possible. The man who smiles when he is insulted, laughs when he is mocked, apologizes when someone else bumps into him. He thinks he is being good, He thinks he is being kind. He thinks this makes him more attractive, more lovable, more safe. This is the nice guy, the most common silent tragedy of the modern world. He is the one who stays late at work, correcting mistakes he did not make, hoping one day his sacrifice will finally be seen. He is the one who listens to a woman talk for hours about another man, hoping his patience will be traded for love. He is the one who hides his anger, his desire, his opinions, because he is terrified that if he shows his true self, he will be abandoned. He tells himself, "I am not like those toxic men. I don't start conflict. I don't offend anyone. I don't take risks. I am safe. I am virtuous. I am nice." But what he calls nice is not virtue. It is fear. Nice is not the same as good. Even the history of the word betrays this lie. Nice once meant ignorant, foolish, unaware. It was never a word of power. It was never a word of honor. Being nice is not a moral achievement. It is a survival strategy. It is the strategy of a terrified child. This child learned early that the only way to stay safe was to be perfect, compliant, invisible. He learned, if I never upset anyone, they will not hurt me. If I never show my teeth, they will not abandon me. So he grew up to be the man who hides his needs, the man who does favors no one asked for, the man who hopes that if he bleeds long enough, someone will call it love. But listen very carefully now. This strategy is not just failing you, it is poisoning you. Because under the smile of the nice guy there is something else growing. A volcano. You like to think of yourself as calm, don't you? You tell people you hate drama. You pride yourself on being patient, understanding, easygoing. Yet if I could peel back your chest and look at your nervous system, I would not see calm. I would see a reactor overheating. Every time you said yes, when you meant no, you swallowed a drop of poison. Every time you laughed at a joke that humiliated you, you swallowed a drop of poison. Every time you tolerated disrespect, every time you performed kindness just to get affection in return, you swallowed a drop of poison. Years of drops become a lake of resentment. Resentment is the anger of a man who pretends to be a saint while secretly feeling like a slave. Because you are not truly giving, you are trading. And this is where your darkness begins. Your whole life is built on covert contracts, invisible deals you sign in your own mind and then hold others accountable to without ever telling them. I will listen to you cry about your ex for 3 hours, and in return you will eventually choose me. I will cover your shift at work, and in return you will never criticize me. I will always be available, always agreeable, and in return you will never leave me. You do not say this out loud. You are too afraid to do. So you act. You play the good man. You put coins into a vending machine that doesn't know it is a vending machine. And when the drink does not come out, you do not just feel sad. You feel betrayed. You think, after everything I did, how could they treat me like this? You see yourself as the victim. In truth, you are the manipulator whose manipulation failed. People can feel this. Women especially can feel this. Have you ever felt the slime of a salesman pretending to be your friend just to close a deal? The world feels the same way about your niceness. There is a price tag under your smile. There is a bill hidden in your kindness. This is why your nice behavior does not attract love. It repels it, especially from women. You live in glass cities, but your brain is still built for the savannah. Her brain is too. For almost all of human history, a woman needed a man who could protect her from chaos, from hunger, from danger. When she looks at you, her ancient nervous system is asking one question: can this man keep me safe? Now picture the man who smiles nervously, apologizes for everything, avoids conflict at all cost, looks at the floor and asks for permission to exist. What is he signaling? I am harmless. I am submissive. I am prey. To a female nervous system, prey is not attractive. Prey is a liability. If you cannot protect your own boundaries from a rude waiter or an overbearing colleague, how will you protect her from a ruthless world? You will not, and her body knows it before her mind does. That sudden, visceral feeling women call the ick. It is often this biological disgust. The disgust of seeing a man who should be a protector behaving like a child, seeking approval. The same thing happens among men. Men test each other constantly, through banter, through subtle conflict. They're not just playing, they are asking, can I trust this man in a crisis? A man addicted to approval cannot be trusted. He will stay silent when he should speak. He will fold when he should hold. He will betray the tribe to save his own skin. This is why bullies target the nice guy. Not just because they are cruel, but because nature exposes the weak link. Submission does not buy you protection. It invites exploitation. If you lie down like a mat, do not be surprised when people wipe their feet on you. That is what mats are for. You have believed that being harmless man is not a good man. A harmless man is simply weak. Think of a rabbit. It hurts no one, not because it is virtuous, but because it has no power. It cannot kill. Now think of a warrior standing at a gate with a sword in his hand. He is capable of violence, but he keeps his blade sheathed. He chooses peace, but he is ready for war. This is virtue. Virtue requires the capacity for danger. You, the nice man, have thrown away your sword. You have castrated yourself mentally and emotionally. You think this makes you pure. In reality, it just makes you food. And yet, understand this. The solution is not to swing wildly to the other extreme, not to become the brute, the bully, the loud tyrant who throws his weight around. The tyrant is also afraid. He is just a terrified boy, hiding behind a louder mask. The true path is integration. You must integrate your monster instead of denying it. Here, the old psychiatrist Carl Jung becomes your ally. He said we do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Everything you were told was bad in you as a child, you shoved into a basement. Your aggression, your selfishness, your ambition, your sexuality, your hunger for power and territory. You tried to present a sanitized persona to the world. I am harmless. I am good. I am safe. But the brighter your fake light, the darker your shadow became. You did not erase your darkness. You only cut yourself off from your own power source. Aggression is the same energy as drive. Sexual dominance is the same energy as creativity. Selfishness is the same energy as self-preservation. When you amputate these energies, you do not become holy. You become exhausted, lifeless, unmotivated. That is why you feel so tired all the time. You disconnected your own battery because you were afraid of its voltage. Integration means this. You admit to yourself, I am capable of harm. You accept, I have the capacity for cruelty, for selfishness, for dominance. You stop pretending you are an angel. A monster you can see is a monster you can train. A monster you deny will eventually take the wheel. Men who snap, who explode after years of being nice, are not integrated men. They are repressed men. Their shadow, denied for decades, finally bursts through the mask. So you must do something that will feel very wrong at first. You must stop judging your dark thoughts. When you feel the impulse to defend yourself, don't smother it. When anger rises in your chest, don't smirk and say, it's fine. When jealousy, greed, or dominance show their faces, don't shove them back into the dungeon. Look at them, acknowledge them. I see you, you are part of me. You do not need to act on every impulse. You do not need to punch the man who disrespects you. But you must allow yourself to feel the power behind the fist. You must know you have teeth. This is the birth of the warrior inside you. A warrior is not a man who loves violence. A warrior is a man who has mastery over violence. He can act if necessary, but he chooses when. Women can sense this. The world can sense this. Kindness from a man who has no power means nothing. He has no other option. Kindness from a man who is capable of real destruction is a gift. It is mercy. It is strength. This is the kind of man a woman can truly relax with. Safe, but not harmless. Gentle, but not weak. Now we must travel back to where this all began, so you can finally understand why you abandoned your own power in the first place. No child is born a nice guy. Look at a baby. When it is hungry, it screams. When it is angry, it kicks and turns red. It does not ask, is this inconvenient? It is raw, unapologetic life. So how did that wild, authentic energy turn into a man who apologizes for existing? Because as a boy, you faced a brutal choice between two needs: attachment and authenticity. Attachment is the need to be close to your caregivers. For a small human, this is survival. If your parents reject you, you die. Your brain knows this. Authenticity is the need to be who you are. To shout, to explore, to get angry, to say no. In a healthy home, you can be both. You can be loud, messy, even disobedient, and still feel loved. But you were not given that luxury. You were taught, if I am fully myself, I will lose love. So you amputated your authenticity to buy attachment. Maybe your father was volatile, critical, or drunk on his own rage. You learned that making noise, showing anger, or having needs poked the bear. So you became invisible, the good boy, quiet, careful, always scanning the room, predicting his moods before he spoke. You decided, if I am perfect, if I cause no trouble, he won't hurt me. Or perhaps your father was weak, distant, or gone. Your mother, overwhelmed and lonely, turned to you for emotional support. She should have received from a man. She called you her little man, told you that you understood her better than your father ever did. That felt like love. But it was a heavy kind of love. You learned that her happiness was your responsibility. If she was sad, it was your failure. If she was angry, you had done something wrong. The most dangerous belief took root. My needs hurt people. To be good, I must ignore myself and take care of others. So you became a chameleon. You shaved off any masculine edge that might disturb her. You built a mask designed to keep her calm. Then, the school system took over. You were an energetic, competitive, physical boy. You learned by moving, by testing boundaries, by wrestling with the world. But the classroom told you to sit still for hours, to be quiet, to memorize and repeat. The natural boy was labeled too much, disruptive, a problem. The behavior natural to girls was praised as good. You heard, why can't you be more like your sister? Slowly, you internalized a toxic message. My core self is wrong. My natural instincts are bad. I must hide them to be loved. You stopped doing homework to learn. You did it to be the good boy. You stopped helping others because you cared. You did it to buy safety. By the time you became an adult, the concrete had hardened. The mask fused to your face. You walked into boardrooms and relationships with the emotional strategy of a scared 5-year-old. In conflict, you were not a man standing his ground, and you were a boy trying not to upset father. In romance, you were not a masculine presence. You were a child trying to soothe mother. You thought, if I hide my needs, they will love me. If I don't cause trouble, I will be safe. If I do everything right, I will be rewarded. But the adult world is not your parents' house. In the adult world, if you hide your needs, you are not loved. You are ignored. If you avoid conflict, you are not safe. You are disrespected. If you perform without boundaries, you are not virtuous. You are used. This is why you feel like a man walking through a war zone, holding a teddy bear, confused about why you keep getting shot. You are running a survival code written for a child in a ruthless adult environment. And deep inside, you are tired. You feel empty, anxious, and constantly drained. You are an actor stuck in a role he never wanted, performing for an audience that isn't even watching. You call this just my personality. It's just who I am. I'm a nice guy. No, you are a survivor, still hiding from dangers that ended decades ago. You are a lion raised in a living room, convinced you are a house cat while the jungle calls your name. To change this, you must do something brave. You must go back to that terrified child within you and tell him, you are safe now. You do not have to perform anymore. You may put down the mask. And when you set the mask down, the first thing that steps out of the shadows is your anger, the one emotion you fear more than rejection. You believe anger makes you a bad man. You saw anger in the eyes of a father or an adult who scared you. You swore, I will never be like that. So when your body sends you the signal, boundary breached, you silence it, you smile instead. But anger is not evil. Anger is a messenger. It is a red light on the dashboard of your soul saying, something is wrong. A line has been crossed. Either another has disrespected you, or you have betrayed yourself. When you bury that signal, it does not disappear. Energy cannot be destroyed, only redirected. So it turns into that cold, toxic resentment. And because you are too afraid to express it directly, it leaks out sideways. You show up late without explanation. You make cutting jokes and then hide behind, relax, I'm just kidding. You retreat into icy silence that punishes everyone around you. You convince yourself, I didn't yell, I didn't hit, I'm the good one. But the people around you feel the hostility. Living with you becomes like walking on landmines. This cannot continue. If you refuse to let anger move outward in honest, calm, direct expression, it will either explode or turn inward. Explosion looks like sudden, shocking outbursts over small things. The dirty dish, the traffic jam, the forgotten text. Implosion looks like depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, illness, even the collapse of your desire. If you will not fight for yourself, your body begins to fight you. You cannot kill the warrior inside you. You can only chain him in the basement. And a warrior kept in darkness does not go to sleep. He goes mad. To heal, you must make peace with your anger. You must allow it to inform you, not possess you. When you feel it rise, pause, name it. I am angry because my boundary was crossed. Then use it to speak clearly. I don't like that. I am not okay with this. No shouting, no drama, just clean, firm honesty. When you release pressure in the moment, resentment doesn't build. You become lighter, clearer, more truly calm. From here, we move to the skill your entire life has avoided. Boundaries. A man without boundaries is not a man. He is public property. If anyone can use your time, your energy, your attention, whenever they want, you are not valuable. You are like oxygen, needed everywhere, but taken for granted. To become gold, you must become scarce. You fear saying no because you think it is cruelty. You think it makes you selfish or bad. In reality, no is the word that builds the walls of your kingdom. When someone asks for something you do not want to give, your mouth often speaks before your mind. Yes, sure, no problem. Then your body punishes you later with fatigue, resentment, and self-disgust. You must break this reflex. Start here. Stop over-explaining. When you finally try to say no, you sabotage yourself with excuses. I can't, because my car, and my schedule, and my cat. This is not power. This is submission. You are handing the other person your reasons and asking them to approve your decision. No is a complete sentence. I can't make it. That doesn't work for me. I'm not interested. You do not need to justify how you use your one life. Next, master the pause. When someone pressures you, do not answer immediately. Breathe. Look them in the eye. Let the silence hang for a moment. This short pause breaks the spell of obedience. It communicates, I am considering my own needs, not just yours. Then prepare for what will come. The extinction burst. When you change the rules, the people who benefited from the old rules will protest. You have been the emotional sponge, the free therapist, the always available helper. When you suddenly step back, they will call you selfish. They will say, you've changed. They will guilt you. Do not take this as a sign you are wrong. It is proof that you are finally right. Hold the line. Let them feel their disappointment. Let them be angry without you rushing in to soothe them. This is the moment you step out of the role of child seeking approval and into the role of man defining his terms. In time, something powerful happens. The same people who once pushed your boundaries begin to respect them, or they drift away, making space for those who do. Think of the people you admire most. They are not available to everyone at all times. They do not apologize for their standards. Their yes means something, because their no is strong. Every interaction you have teaches people how to treat you. If you tolerate disrespect, you train them to disrespect you. If you absorb endless emotional dumping, you train them to see you as a trash can. It is time to rewrite the training manual. As you practice this, your presence will change. Your posture will slowly open. Your eyes will lift. Your voice will sink deeper into your body. You will stop filling silence with nervous jokes. You will stop laughing at things that are not funny. And quietly, without you forcing it, the world's response to you begins to shift. Where it once felt disgust, it starts to feel respect. Where women once felt the ick, they start to feel a pull. Where men once saw someone to exploit, they begin to see someone to rely on, or someone to avoid provoking. Because now you are not a harmless boy. You are a man who has remembered his teeth and chosen not to bite unless he must. This is where true attraction is born, not from tricks, not from lines, from a deep, quiet sense of self-respect. And now we return to where we began, sovereignty. Sovereignty means your point of origin is inside you. Before, every decision you made was filtered through others. Will she approve? Will they like this? Will they think I'm good? You lived like an actor, performing for applause. The sovereign man fires the audience. He lives by his own code. He asks only, is this aligned with who I choose to be? Does this honor my standards? Is this true? If the answer is yes, he moves. If the answer is no, he declines. He does not require the world to agree with him. He does not need his mother to approve, his friends to understand, or a woman to validate his worth. And strangely, this independence does not make him cold. It makes him warm, because he no longer gives from emptiness. He builds a life he respects. He pursues a mission that stretches him. He builds a body that commands respect from himself first. He sharpens his mind. He fills his own cup until it overflows. Then, and only then, does he offer that overflow to others. He is no longer the beggar holding out a bowl for scraps of affection. He is the king of the banquet, with more than enough to share. In dating, this changes everything. He no longer chases women to complete him. He invites them to join him. He keeps the door of his life open. You are welcome to step in and share my warmth. But you are also free to leave. I will not shrink myself to keep you. I will not beg you to stay. I will still be here, solid, when you are gone. This is not arrogance. It is stability. It is the mountain and the wind. The wind may howl and change direction. The mountain does not move. The boy needs to be told he is good. The boy needs permission. The boy needs someone to hold his hand and promise never to leave. The man needs a mission. The man needs a code. The man validates himself. You stand now at a crossroads. You can stay as you are, smiling on the surface, rotting underneath, trading your time, your attention, your heart for crumbs of validation, hoping that one day your niceness will finally pay off. Or you can bury the nice guy You can let him die. You can mourn the years he lost. Then you can walk forward as something new. A man who knows he is capable of danger and chooses discipline. A man who sets boundaries without apology. A man who speaks his truth, even when his voice shakes. A man whose love is real because it is not a bargain. Walk taller. Let your shoulders roll back. Look people in the eye. Say no when you mean no. Ask for what you want without shame. Do not apologize for taking up space on this earth. You were never born to be a house cat. You were born a lion. The jungle is waiting. Go meet it as a man who is no longer nice, but finally, deeply.